Hello, welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm your host Brian, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Thomas.
Hello.
Now we're just doing a little minisode. We've just got back from watching Deadpool 3 at the midnight showing. So, obviously we've done a couple episodes leading up to this. So here's our thoughts for Deadpool 3. Do you want to do a quick synopsis of IMDb?
Yeah. Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously. Wolverine is recovering from his injuries when he crosses paths with the loudmouth Deadpool. They team up to defeat a common enemy. I don't know if that's as accurate as what it is actually in the film, but...
No, but I don't want to spoil too much.
No.
It's directed by Sean Levy, who's worked on a couple of Ryan Reynolds projects recently. He did Free Guy and The Adam Project together, and I think there's a third one as well. I think he's a director on Stranger Things, but don't quote me on that. This is based on the character Deadpool by Rob Liefeld and Fabienne Nicieza. I don't know how to say his surname.
No one does.
Okay. And it's written by Ryan Reynolds, Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, Zeb Wells, and Sean Levy. I'm not going to get into what they've written because it's a lot to look up for just a minisode. Do you want to start us off?
With?
About the film?
I weren't as big a fan of this one as the other ones. I felt the jokes were a bit flat in comparison, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say that this one does not have the usual opening credits to a Deadpool movie.
No, I was a little disappointed by that. The written by the guys that killed John Wick's dog kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked more of that as well for the credits instead of the actual names.
Yeah.
But it was in a good slow-mo opening fight sequence similar to the first with how they're done.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the presentation of them is what I mean. I thought this was just as good as the previous two, and I thought the jokes were just as good as the previous two. I think none of them are a perfect film for me. They've all got their little faults for various reasons, but I think they've all stood quite well on their own.
Yeah.
For all their merits that they're worth. I think it's great to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it after Logan, so it was quite a nice touch. I quite liked many of the little cameo roles, but I'm not going to spoil who they are, but everyone's expecting them. Or some of them, or just cameos in general, should I say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a nice little touch. And I quite liked, they did like a little goodbye thing, I guess, to the X-Men films and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine stuff in the end credits, which I don't think is a particular spoiler. But that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't think it was directed as one of the other ones. Or cinematographer, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just about to look that up, actually.
It's the same guy from Free Guy and Tomb Raider, the last one with Alicia Vikander.
Right. Well, I didn't particularly like either of those films.
No.
I mean, I didn't hate them.
No.
They're just very okay, I guess. Yeah, I quite like the fights in this.
I don't think they hit as hard as
No, but I don't think that was a choreography thing. I think that was a cinematography thing.
That's what I mean.
And
the cinematography weren't good. It didn't
seem to allow it to be as visceral.
No.
I quite liked the villain. I think we can say who the villain is. I think she's been outed because they said who it was.
In the trailers, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to it.
So I'll say it's Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
Which is in the comics. Well, and this, it turns out, Xavier's twin.
Yeah.
That's Professor X's twin from the womb.
Yeah. Where else?
Yeah.
I don't think her powers were comic accurate.
I don't know, but
I don't want to go into that.
I don't want to go into it, but I particularly like how some of it was displayed.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And that was quite visceral.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much of Loki season 1 is kind of relevant in knowing.
Yeah.
Although it would be fine, I think, to see this and not have seen Loki. It explains it enough.
Yeah.
But it was quite surprising how it ties into that, I thought.
Yeah.
I knew the TVA was in it. Is it the TVA? Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew the TVA was in it, but I didn't think it was going to particularly link to Loki.
No.
Like it did. There's some great references to past films that didn't happen, films that could have happened. So I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
Wolverine's costume, I think, looked actually better in the film than in the stills.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
Especially the sleeveless look we've seen. I quite like that. I would say if you like the previous two, I think you'll like this one. I don't think Thomas is as sold.
No, I just...
Or maybe he's just tired.
Yeah, could be that. It just didn't seem to land very well for me, a lot of it. Like...
Well, I'm looking forward to picking up a Steelbook Blu-ray when it comes out.
I didn't think the fights were... they didn't look as good, and the humour just didn't seem as
The humour,
good.
I think, was the same.
Mm.
But the fights definitely weren't on par with the previous ones.
I will say there is another joke similar to the Deadpool 2, which I really liked.
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about.
I'll just say comic book accuracies.
Part of it.
Yeah.
In fact, there's maybe another joke linking to comic book accuracy.
There's quite a few, to be fair.
This had a couple of problems for me in terms of its story, but I can't spoil them here, so you might not find out what they are.
I will say Wolverine does get some a lot of good moments, like around about the time you meet him, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to go into that.
Yeah.
A lot of
I know.
stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention on the way home.
No, I think this film is actually, as the title kind of implies, it seems to be as much as, if not more, about Wolverine than it is Deadpool.
I know what you mean.
But I guess if you bring in Hugh Jackman back, you need to make a big deal about it, or it's not really worth bringing him back.
Yeah, especially after Logan.
Yeah, and I think they did a good workaround with that as well. So check it out, I would say. Thomas says whatever, I guess.
Do what you want.
Not that you couldn't anyway.
Yeah.
You didn't need his permission. So I guess that's goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
From me and goodbye from him, as the two Ronnies would say. And I think our next episode is the Borderlands one.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm not sure now.
So what's in my notepad?
So goodbye and tune in on our regular days, I guess. Saturdays?
Yeah, Saturdays.
My God.
Change to Sunday.
This is what happens when you don't have sleep. Goodbye.
Bye.